Okay, bare metal server. I'll admit, when I first heard that term, I thought, that sounds intense, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
But I think after this deep dive, we're all going to feel like tech pros. We're going
No.
to break it all down, what they are, why they're such a big deal, and when you might actually pick one over all the other server options out there.
Yeah, you might even be surprised who uses bare metal servers. I mean, we're talking major operations here, but we'll get to that.
We'll definitely get into that. But first, let's back up a little bit just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So what exactly is a bare metal server? And I've heard this analogy before, and I kind of like it. I feel like it's like having your own private island in the digital world.
I like that analogy. It's a good one. Yeah, so basically, bare metal means you're renting the whole server, not just sharing it with others.
Ah, got it. So it's like you're renting a whole apartment instead of like just a room in a house.
Yeah.
You have your own space, your own rules, no roommates to mess things up.
Exactly. And that's what we call single tenant. You have the entire server to yourself. No noisy neighbors competing for resources. And that's very different from shared or virtualized servers where you're kind of splitting things up with other users.
Right, right. And I remember we did a whole deep dive on hypervisors a while back. But just as a quick reminder, with bare metal, you're not dealing with a hypervisor at all, right?
Nope, no hypervisor here. It's all about direct access to the hardware, baby, which means you get to call the shots, choose your own operating system, and fine-tune the whole setup to match exactly what you need. And that's where things get really exciting, from a tech perspective at least.
Okay. I'm starting to see why someone would want all this control. It's like having admin privileges on your computer, but supersized.
Exactly. Total customization, top to bottom.
Okay, so let's dive into the benefits then. What makes these bare metal servers so special?
Well, like we touched on earlier, security is a huge one. Since your data is physically isolated, it's a lot harder for someone to sneak in and access it.
So it's like having a fortress around your data.
Pretty much. This is why bare metal is super popular in industries with like super sensitive data. Think healthcare with patient records or finance with all those transactions. They have to meet all sorts of regulations, and bare metal makes it way easier.
And speaking of easier, isn't performance also way more predictable with bare metal?
Oh, absolutely. That's another huge advantage. With shared servers, you never know what your neighbors are up to, right? They could be running some massive task that eats up all the resources, and suddenly your website slows to a crawl.
Ugh, yeah, I've been there.
But with bare metal, you don't have to worry about that. You know exactly what resources you have, and they're all yours. No competition, no surprises. It's like having a dedicated lane on the highway just for your data.
So consistent performance is basically a guarantee.
You got it. And that's especially important for applications where speed is everything, like high-frequency trading, where milliseconds can make or break a deal.
Oh, right, every millisecond counts there.
Exactly, and it's the same for things like real-time data analysis or complex simulations. You need those resources available on demand without any hiccups.
So bare metal's got that covered.
Yeah.
What about customization? I mean, we talked about root access, but what does that actually mean in terms of like what you can do with the server?
Well, it means you're not limited by any pre-configured settings or software. You
Wow.
can literally install any operating system you want, tweak every setting, optimize everything to match your specific workload.
That's pretty cool, but it also sounds like it could get pretty technical.
It can, yeah. But luckily, there are managed services out there that can take care of the heavy lifting for you, like monitoring the server, installing updates, troubleshooting issues. So you can still benefit from bare metal even if you don't have a dedicated IT team.
That's good to know. So let's bring this back to the real world. I mean, where are we actually seeing these bare metal servers in action?
They're everywhere, honestly. Like you mentioned gaming earlier. Well, online multiplayer games, the ones with tons of players, they often rely on bare metal servers to handle all that data and keep the gameplay smooth.
Oh, I see. So that's how they avoid lag.
Exactly. And it's not just gaming. We're talking financial institutions, scientific research labs, big companies that need dedicated servers to handle their massive workloads and meet those strict security requirements we talked about.
It's amazing to think about all the stuff going on behind the scenes. So let's wrap things up here. For someone who's hearing about bare metal servers for the first time, what's the key takeaway?
I would say that, well, bare metal servers are all about control, security, and performance. It's like choosing the perfect tool for a specific job. It might not be the right fit for every situation, but when you need that extra level of power and reliability, there's really nothing else like it.
Exactly. Yeah. So next time you're online, and you're, making a big purchase or playing a super intense game or even just browsing a website that loads super fast. Think about it.
Hmm.
There might be a bare metal server working hard behind the scenes, making it all happen seamlessly.
And now you know the secret behind the magic.
You got it. And that's our deep dive on bare metal servers. Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you next time.